in last week for this chapter 12, we have covered the introductions. In the introductions, we have we like heads up lah. We have understand. We have some basic understanding. Uh, the book state that why the woman don't ask for help, and why does the man doesn't respond well to demands and resentment. Okay, so the main point over here for this topic, because we are talking about asking for help, so it's important to bear in mind. It's important to bear in mind in if we want to get something like something, sometimes we have to ask for it. And so this main point, if we bear it in mind, we will know, we will then acknowledge that lah. We sometimes each of us, we will need support, and then it was okay to ask for it, no? And then all right, so furthermore, okay, then knowing the main points already, right? So right now we go into the women sections. So this book actually state that why women don't ask for help. Okay, so the book state that women tend to find this part of asking for the support from their partners are more frustrating. Why? On because for them side, from them, they said that they acknowledge the statement below lah. They acknowledge that love is never having to ask. Sometimes if I have to ask, it doesn't count because woman. If you remember from the previous chapter, woman is more into emotional connections, and so through the emotional connections, by their nature, they will tends to how to say, have the tendency to try to connect with each another's lah. And so, by using the the woman tendency, uh, so that the woman would eventually assume that, oh, okay, because you love already, what? Because there is love already, I doesn't really need to ask, because love, you they assume that love automatically, uh, the other's party will give the support to me already. So I don't need to ask lah. Okay. So but then, and so with such understanding, uh, because they're love already, right? Because they're love, because of the woman's in was felt the love and wanted the love. So women would automatically give supports, no? Would automatically give supports towards the other party, which is the male lah, which is the male, and hoping that the male actually give back to to the female as well. So eventually she keep giving, hoping he would acknowledge it and give in return, and give until, but however the male doesn't actually respond that way. Okay, so she will get burned out, lor. She will get burned out, and then she will get resent, she will get sad, and then eventually she will approach lah, she will approach the male and ask for the support, frustratingly, well, eventually leads to the argument, lor. Okay, so this is the cycle, and you can see the tendency for the female lah. All right. Okay, so we went into the male. Okay, so male, why men needed to be asked? Well, the book actually stated over here, men are not instinctively motivated to offer their help, to offer their support. They needed to be asked. So men actually needed to feel, they need to feel needed. They needed to feel wanted before they help. Because if you remember also from the previous chapter, the foundation, men, we have this competency issues going on inside us. So with that natural drives, we will think about when we give support, we are also in a sense that we are trying to we were trying to see how actually the support, all right, how the support actually boost up the competency and boost up the confidence for the men lah. And so because of that, when the woman doesn't ask for the support, right? When woman doesn't ask for the support, men will actually think that, oh, okay, lor, it is all right lah. It's enough lah. No need to give lah. Since I assume everything okay also what. I assume everything okay also. So yeah, if you can see over there, over the cycle over there, she thinks he is giving enough. But however, for the woman, if you remember, the woman is how does it giving, silently giving, hoping the man would actually react back towards the giving lah. So you can see the confusions happening with two parties already. One is trying to give, the female is trying to give, hoping the male give back because of their tendency of wanted to connect and the emotional connection. But however, the male doesn't actually see the giving. The male prefer to be asked because of the tendencies of their own competency issues. So you can see one party thinking it's not in one party is not giving, one party is giving and hoping the other parties also give back. So eventually the issues arise. So the woman may ask, like just now, as I share inside the woman's cycle, the woman may came and ask for the support frustratingly. So and then the men usually over here they will get annoyed lah, they will get confused, and then eventually leads to arguments lor. Okay, so we also cover why the man doesn't respond well to demand and resentment. It because when if you remember just now, I said when the woman approached the man with this kind of demands, like basically asking for the support frustratingly, it gives an idea for the man that it will make the man think that, oh, he would make that he would it would make the man think that, okay, he was actually not giving enough. He actually tackles the competency and the confidence of the man, because the man think that, oh, I am not able to solve the problem or see the problem. Okay, so eventually eventually more fights and more arguments will came out lor. So because of these issues, that's why these titles over here, why man doesn't respond well towards demands and resentment. Okay, it was because all about the competency issues lah. All right. Okay, there was a brief summary. Okay, sir, you want to add on anything before I move on?
No, no.
No lah. Okay, so today we will try to move in into new topics lah. We will try to move in the new topics. Okay, so last week, like just now, I tried to refresh the what we have learned last week. We know that, okay, we know that women, they don't ask for the help. They don't ask for the help because they assume that, oh, if you love, you would automatically give already. Okay, and then so this common question about asking for support over here is basically dedicated towards for the female lah, because the woman may think about, they may have some how to say, some thoughts in their mind, or they may have some misunderstanding in their mind when they approach the man into asking for the support. Because for themselves, if you remember just now, for a woman, love is no need to ask for support. Okay, love is no need to ask for support. They they assume that the others party automatically know already what kind of what kind of support the other party needed to be given. So these subtopics over here is try to help the women to understand better lah, or to tackle some questions or some issues the woman might have whenever they approach the man for asking for the support. Okay, so question one. Question one. A woman might feel, why should I have to ask him? Ask the man. Okay. Why do I have to ask the man when I don't require him to ask me? Okay. You can see over here already. Why should I have to ask him when I don't require him to ask me? Again, you see the the female tendency over here, which is to love is to no need to ask for the support. They automatically assume. But if you have this thought, if you have this issue when you are approaching or you are trying to ask for the support from your man, the book actually share this answer. Why leh? Why should I need to ask him? Okay, so this answer is for this question. If you have similar thoughts or similar feelings when you think about asking for the support from the other party. Okay, the answer would be, you need to remember men are different. Okay, you need to remember men are different and they have their own drives. So you will have to work on that drive by asking him for help effectively to get what you wanted. If you remember, the drive is, I think everyone should know it already. The male's drive right now is about competencies and their own sense of achievement, which eventually builds up their sense of identity. So the woman need to acknowledge that, okay, men have this sense of identity needed to fulfill within the relationship. So you will have to work on it. You have to work on it by asking him to help. Okay, by asking him to help. Because when a woman, for a male like me lah, all right, okay, I will just use me as an example. Whenever a woman would ask me for help, if I am able to help it, if I am able to help them, if I am within my capabilities, of course, within my capabilities, I am able to help them. I would actually feel, I would feel like what the book has said, very sometimes very shocked lah. Not shocked lah. It's like very how to say, very fulfilling. Whenever I can help the female whenever they ask for my support. So you can see how the drives actually works out over here again. So using me as an example just now, hopefully this answer and this question would help the woman to understand better lah. Okay. Sir, you want to add on anything to question one before I move on?
No, no.
No lah. Okay, okay. So question two. Okay. A woman may feel, okay, once again, feel, why should I appreciate what he does when I am doing more? Okay. So again, uh we are dealing with feelings over here. It makes sense lah. It makes sense for a woman to feel that way because if you remember just now, again, I try to relate back towards the front page so you can know the foundation was laid over there, and it will help you to understand the question and the answer more. Um, like just now I said, women, because they love, they will give more. And so when they see their partners not giving, definitely they feel, ayo, why like that one why should I need to appreciate what you're doing? You do so much, that's not fair leh. That kind of feelings, not fair leh. That kind of Why don't you do more, leh? That kind of feelings, all right? So that was for question two. So so the answer for this question for the woman, okay, so you have to remember, in order to encourage a man to give more, they first needed to be acknowledged, appreciated, accepted. You can all this is, if you remember from the previous chapter, is about the we are dealing with the different emotional needs for two genders. Okay, acknowledgement, appreciation, acceptance is all the emotional needs for the men. Okay, so eventually it leads to, you can see the competent. It eventually leads to the core issues again, competencies. Okay, so in order to get what you want, you have to let the others, let them basically fulfill, let the male basically fulfill all their emotional needs first. And so because of them having their needs fulfilled already, they would be more motivated to give more lor. Okay, so again, very brief, very straightforward. Okay, so if you want to add on anything, you just stop me lah. If not, I keep moving already. Okay, once again, question three. Okay, a woman may feel, okay, we are dealing with feelings again over here. If I have to ask him for support, he may think that he is just doing me a favor. You know, yeah, is understandable. Because sometimes, as even as a male, I understand this statement very well. Sometimes it doesn't, when the asking for the support is a mean for connections, but people may think that, okay, it was not actually meant for the connections, but it was actually meant for just a favor. All right. So for this question, if you have this feeling, or if you have these thoughts in your mind whenever you ask for the support, so the answer would be like this. If you have to remember again from the previous chapter, um, you have to remember that men actually keep scores differently. If you remember, the female is like 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, but man is like 5, 10. Okay, the more the effort, 20, 25. The normal things, all right, maybe a little bit, not that much, but it was the little bit that actually matters towards the woman. Okay, so the woman, so you have to acknowledge these differences, lah. You have to acknowledge these differences. The scoring points between the male and females are different. Okay, to let a man think about doing a favor for you, which also boosts his confidence and his sense of competency, is better than for a man to think that he is obligated to give to you. If you remember again just now, man doesn't respond very well. That they doesn't respond very well towards your frustration, your demands, and the basically the request, including all the bad emotions inside lah. Because it will think that, okay, you will let them to think that, okay, they actually make a mistakes, and they are not competent within the relationship. All right, so uh woman, you have to bear that in mind, oh, whenever, if you have this feeling, or you have this thought whenever you wanted to ask for some support. Okay, so for question four, total six question now. Okay, right now we are on questions four. Okay, sometimes, whenever a woman, they ask for the support, a woman may feel, okay, if he loves me, he should just offer his support. I shouldn't have to ask. Okay, very straightforward. Very very clear cut again. But the answer for this question, is again, yeah, you have to remember the scoring points again. Oh, you have to remember the scoring points again. If he is not being asked, he will assume he's just giving enough, and eventually leads to him giving lah. Because when, as a male, again, I use myself as an example. The how to say the effort I put in, the effort I put in when I was being asked, and I was not being, and when I was being asked, and I was not being asked, is sometimes it would be a little bit different for me. Yeah, when I being asked, because I know, okay, this person approached me, means that, okay, he sees that I am capable in doing, or in helping what the others needed. So by that time, I knew that I have to give more. I have to, how to say, I have to put in more effort lah. And hence again, you can see by putting in more effort, it means that the scoring is different again. It will eventually affects how the man scores for themselves lah. Okay. All right. So for question 5, a woman may feel if I have to ask for things, she will think I'm not giving as much as he is. I'm afraid he may feel he doesn't have to give me more. Okay, so the answer for this question is a man is more generous than you thought them are. Under normal circumstances, lah, he will not compare as the giving from them actually boosts their sense of their sense of confidence. They would feel that the woman asking for the support is actually the woman is entitled towards the support. So uh, yeah, basically, if you remember again, just a random thoughts. If you remember again, I think from few chapters ago, why Sir has been saying bringing back the how to say, the old style. I mean, not the old style, about how a gentleman was being treated as a gentleman, how a lady has been acting as a lady, have been treating as a lady, how a gentleman has been acting as a gentleman, as and have been treating as a lady. So yeah, it basically once again comes to the points lah, of the competency and the confidence, the core drives of a man. Okay. And so for the last questions, a woman may feel when I ask for support, I am afraid to be brief. I want to explain why I need his help. I don't want to appear demanding. Okay, so sometimes whenever, okay, so I don't know for the woman, but the book stated over here, whenever a woman they ask for help, they want to be brief, because in their sense, in their in their in their world, to be brief is actually means that, okay, something was wrong. Okay, to be short and clear cut means that something was wrong, something was serious. So if you remember, okay, the woman is into emotional support as well. A short kinds of a response, a short kinds of a brief response or questions sometimes might signifies that, okay, the other parties was mad at me, or the other party was annoyed, something like that. Okay, so the woman tendency, they whenever they ask for the support, they have this urge lah, to actually wanted to explain why I needed his help, why. But however, if you understand from the book actually provided, I mean, how does it, a perspective from the man lah. The man will believe that she has good enough reason just for asking. So basically means that, okay, whenever a question pops up already, the book stated the man would actually believe that she has her own reason just for asking for the help already. Okay, so but however, if he needs to understand more, he will ask automatically, and only during that time when the man asks, it is okay for the woman to give reason, because whenever during the asking times, if the women tend to be more illustrative, they tend to be more explain. They wanted to explain more because it was an idea how they put in their emotionals and their feelings lah into the asking. So somehow during the asking part, it would cause the man to be lost. Okay, it would cause the man to be lost in what he actually needed to be done. Okay, and eventually the man would shut down because there was too much information again for him to capture that time. So women to ask for the support basically try to remember lah. Try to be short and simple, be brief, so the man would know what you actually wanted. Okay. That's all for the questions over here for this short period. Not period, short sections over here. Sir, you want to add on anything before I move into the next section?
Maybe worthwhile for us all to just remember, in any relationship, the state of the relationship will determine how much effort you need to put in to understand the other party. If everything is well and good, and somehow the things you are doing and you are saying is already enhancing the positive relationship between the two opposite gender, then it's fine and good. Generally, you won't have that much of a problem with misunderstanding. But these six different questions and the response is particularly useful when the relationship sort of gets into a bit of tension. Relationship is always got, moves up and down one. So when it starts dropping and there's a little bit of tension, this is where you need to be alert. Okay, of more alert about the differences between a woman's response and a man's response. So the effort need to be put in, especially during that state. Okay, when it's good, fine. Generally, you don't have that big a problem. But of course, be on the alert. Be on alert as well to prevent it from falling. So you need to do the right thing, but you don't need to be so stressed out. You still need to be doing the right thing to maintain the relationship on the high. Okay, but when it drops and the tension arises, then you really need to put in effort to remember. Okay, the motivation behind the male and the female. Okay, Matthew.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, so next one we move into the new sections over here. Okay, we tackle about the questions already, and we understand about the reason already, the introductions already, how two parties respond, and some feelings and thoughts might have during the asking for support. Right now, we came towards the how. Okay, so some guidelines. Okay, I would say some guidelines and some method for the woman to actually some input for the woman from the book to help the woman. How can you correctly tackles the point, hits the point, and then ask for what you wanted. Okay, ask for the support you wanted, ask for the things that you wanted. Okay, so as you can see over here, the book actually separated the asking into three parts, three ways. Okay, so right now we are getting into the first one. It's about asking correctly for what you are already getting. Okay, so the first one, asking correctly for what you are already getting. Basically over here, the book actually share this for the woman to slowly become aware of not if of what your partner is already doing for you, especially the little things. The important parts of this stage is to beginning asking him to do the little things he already does and not take him for granted. And during this stage, basically the first stage, not to ask for more than what he is used to giving. Allow him to become used to hearing you ask for the things, ask for things in a non-demanding tone. So basically, over the first step over here is about sharing to the woman slowly to see and slowly to acknowledge what your partners, the male has been doing for you, especially the little things. Because sometimes the little things are the one that get how is it that get ignored, not say ignored, that get 忽略. I don't know how, what was it in English. It's like not until the level of ignore, but just that because of it was done so frequently that things doesn't actually stood out anymore. It doesn't actually
Neglected.
neglect.
Neglected.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Neglected. All right, all right. Neglected by the other parties already. So the book actually over here in the first step is to try to acknowledge lah, to try to take note about the little things the man has been doing for you. Because for men, if you remember, for men, whenever they do the little things right, it doesn't add points to their scoring points. So it doesn't add points to their scoring points. Eventually, they will also neglect away the little things that the men themselves they wanted to do, or they wanted to give on the support. So for the female, it is important again to take note what your partner has been doing for you. It doesn't really have to be huge. Start from small, and start from a lower phase lah, to actually eventually build up the momentum, and to eventually build up the appreciation you have for your for your pa- for your partner, and not to ask for more than he is used to giving. So basically, again, it's just that what he has been doing, just ask him during this first stage. Ask him on the things that he was already giving. Let him get used about your requests. Let him get used about your tone lah, your tone of non-demanding requests from you. Okay, so basically that's it lah. Okay, sir, you want to add on anything over here?
Let me paraphrase it so that a bit easier to understand this point here lah. Remember that for men driven by competency, they want to do big things. That's what competency identity drives them to do. When they do big things in their own mind, their competency, which is why small things they tend to neglect. Because small things doesn't prove competency as much as big things. However, for the woman, small things are important. So if small things are important to the woman, which the man don't see important, to remind the man how important is a small thing, that's why the woman need to do something about it. No? Okay? Otherwise, the man will only do big things. And then big things is that after he has done a big thing, remember the way they score point, they do a big thing already, then they will do nothing. They feel that their score is very high already. Right? Whereas a woman would prefer continuous right? Small things. So this is to help. Remember, a woman, this is to help you get what you need. Okay, very important. Simply because the man thinks differently from you. Okay, so you need to learn to ask. So especially when the man got it right. Okay, when the man got it right, don't keep quiet. You have to start reinforcing. When the man got it right doing the small things, reinforce. Okay, that's why it's asking correctly for what you are already getting. There's nothing wrong with that, woman. Let me just advise you, nothing wrong, simply because you recognize that the man is different, because if you don't, and then the man forget, and then start doing big things, and then keep quiet, and then you long for the small thing, then in a way you are partly to blame. The man doesn't understand, doesn't know. So you are partly to blame because you have not reinforced. Okay, and you just assume that the man will think the same way as you do, which they don't. Okay, Matt.
Okay, then we know about reminding the man about how much the little things actually meant for the woman is important. Okay, so we move on to the next one. Okay, so during this stage, the books also share with us a few tips for how to motivate the man. How to motivate the man in a sense that hoping he would actually provide you the support you needed. Okay, so the first one is then would have to learn to ask for the support, or to ask for the things you wanted at an appropriate timing, because if you remember from a previous chapter, men, they are busy solving problems. Okay, men, they are busy solving problems. Men have their caves, and men have their time also. So it's important to actually acknowledge those timing, and not to stand beside the cave and get burned by the dragon. Not to ask him when he is about to do something, because it would actually tackles the sense of competency for the man. So an appropriate timing would very much appreciated by the men whenever a question was raised up, or a support or a request was raised up by the woman. Man, was it true for you? Maybe someone can, the others man, the others male, you can feedback towards this. For me, yeah, definitely. For me, yes. Not just only in sense of different gender also for me, but sometimes for the same gender, like my friends and my brother, this appropriate timing for asking for my help, or asking for my support would actually, would actually helps me to, motivate me somehow in giving back, or in fulfilling, or in giving the support they needed for towards the other party. So man, I don't know, maybe you can share, or you have any thoughts about this. Was it true for you? So timing is important for me. Okay. Simon also say yeah. Okay. Yep. So you can see the timing for asking is very important for the man over here as well. All right. There was.
I think it's important to realize that man is a monotasker. Meaning generally men inclined to focus on one thing. They are not so good. So they're not so good at being able to cope with more than one. Because it distracts. So they cannot. They generally not so good at that. So which is why the appropriate timing is very important. Now, generally, what I have learned to do is basically this. When I've been approached, okay, I will. Now, of course, it depends on the woman. Some women cannot take it if they don't understand me as a man. But most of the women that deals with me, they have understood already. Usually, I will also tell them ahead of time. I will tell them that sometimes when you approach me, I will tell you to pause. And then I say, I will come back to you later. So I will usually, when they come to me at the not at a time when I'm in my cave or I'm in the middle of my thought, I will usually ask them to wait. Okay. And then I say, I will come back to you. And then when I sort of completed at least halfway where I can stop, then I will stop and then I will turn back and then ask then, you just now you called me or just now you wanted to say something to me. What is it? Generally, this is what I will try to do on my part. Yvonne, what you can do actually, is this. You can actually write on a piece of paper or something, say something like, call me when you can. It's fine. Okay? Just leave a note there and say, call me as you can. My advice is don't just ignore and then, then forget about approaching the man for help. Don't, because then it leaves you to especially in a relationship, you shouldn't be doing that, because asking the man for help actually is helpful in reinforcing the relationship. You don't want two independent person. You want two interdependent person. So interdependent, right? You continue to ask for help. It's just that the timing. Okay? When you approach and then the timing is not right, doesn't mean you don't approach. My suggestion is you want to establish interdependency, and so you approach, but allowing the man to respond in his timing. So which is why it's like you can write a note and then just slip it across without significant interruption. You sort of just write a note, call me when you can. That note will act as a good reminder. Because if very often the man is so caught up with whatever he or is doing, by the time he finished, he sort of continues with the deep thought and then think through the deep thought and then, finally he emerged from the thought. He may have forgotten this need to call you. Okay? So which is why to me always a note is very helpful. It happens to me quite often. If the person tell me that want to talk to me, and I usually say, wait, let me finish this first. And then when I finish, I forgot, because the issue I was in takes up a lot of my memory. So a piece of paper would have been significantly helpful. Usually what happens is after I've gone through the deep thought and then I come out of it, All I can remember is, just now got something. What is it? Just now got something I need to do, but I can't remember what I needed to do. And it was actually somebody trying to contact me and I need to call back. And I forgot. Simon say, I find this call me when you can works with men, but not with women. Exactly. It doesn't work with women, by the way. This is for men. Okay, this is for men, please. Okay? This is for men. Because men want to help. But when you approach in the wrong timing, they cannot cope. That's all. Okay? Okay, letter or message sounds better. I just leave them alone for a week until they contact me back, which might be a little bit cold. Yeah. You shouldn't be for a week. You should say something like, call me as soon as you can. That's why your message must be very clear. It's okay to be direct. That's why remember, it's okay to be direct. That means if the matter needs to be handled by today, please call me by today. You should be direct. Remember, for a male, for a man, it is okay. It is very okay. Okay, when you do that, it's not that the man don't want to help. If the man is caught up in the cave, the thoughts are in the cave, and they cannot do multitasking. They cannot. And anyway, the cave, this is a competency issue. That's why they are deep into it. They have to achieve their competency, and that's why their whole focus is into it. So much so that they can very little of their focus to be able to focus and remember what you wanted. Cannot one. Okay. Any other comment or thought? If not, then I'll pass it back to Matthew. For ladies, it's either they help you on the spot when you ask them, or they don't bother helping. Yeah. Women can cope with it. Women can cope with it. Okay, because woman is different one. Their mind can handle. They can be doing their thing and they can be talking to you. That's why women, you see mothers especially. Mothers can be in the kitchen cooking and yet carrying the baby. They are taking care of their baby and yet at the same time answering the phone call. The mothers can do that. Okay? But men cannot. Men cannot. It is got to do with the drive. Okay? They are so driven to achieve that they have already directed all their energy onto the one thing. So it's like going into a cave with the issue. So their whole mind is into the issue. Okay, which is why when they go through it already, when they come out, then they can focus on you. That's why they need the reminder, like a note, or either that you can ask the man, is it okay if I come back to you in an hour's time? It's okay. So if you come back in an hour's time, generally the man, right? Once you approach, and the man will reply, and very often the man is more willing to just drop the cave because they have already agreed to do that. If they really cannot, then they will say another. But if you come back another hour, definitely, usually one time only lah. Very seldom you really need to go 2 times. For ladies, I feel to also ask also if they need help. Don't understand. Yvonne, don't understand your comment here. Oh, okay. Your reply to okay, will do. Okay. Any other thoughts? Any other comments? Input? If not, Matthew, back to you.
Okay. Yvonne also said, oh, okay. All right. So thank you, sir. Thank you everyone for the feedback and the thoughts and the inputs. Okay, so we'll move on to the second tips for how to motivate the men. Okay, so the second one is how do the woman put up a non-demanding attitudes whenever they approach their man for the support they wanted. Okay, so over here is very important to define between the differences between a request and a demand. So if you can see over here from Google, a request is an act of asking politely, but however, for the demand, it was an insistent and peremptory request made as of right. Means that uh, uh, request is request is basically about asking. But however, for demand, it was asking and then they implement some sort of a rights of a insistency for you to actually comply towards the request the demander they have put out. So it is important for the woman for the woman to actually put up this attitude so that the man would know uh, which standpoint you are coming from. Are you just coming as a request, or are you coming as a demand? So bear in mind also something special. Even though a lady may just think that it was a request, but however, from the frustration and from the things that she have already went through, the man would still see it as a demand for themselves. So, yep, is the non-demanding attitude over here. You can, if you remember from just now, it included about the tone of voices we are talking about. It included your body languages, how you react towards during the asking, and also how your the languages you use during when you're asking. Because if you remember just now, men doesn't actually they don't respond very well lah. They don't respond very well whenever there was a demanding attitude happening. Because demanding attitude may actually uh, the men would actually feel somehow they would feel very challenged whenever they are approached by this kind of attitude lah, and hence also eventually leads to maybe arguments or whatever no? That's why. So it was important lah. It was important to actually acknowledge that, even to acknowledge the attitude between a request and a demanding request. I mean a demanding attitude and a requesting attitude. Yep. Okay. So you want to add on over this point?
I think worthwhile, woman, for you to recognize when is your emotional state of mind. What is your emotional state of mind that can lead to a request? And what is your emotional state of mind that can lead to a demand? Okay? Because a request, a man will do. A demand, a man will resist. That's why don't allow your emotional state of mind reach the point where you will begin to demand. And very often the emotional state of mind that leads to a demand comes from the assumption that woman has that a man should know. And so because you based on the assumption that the man should know, and you waited, and you keep doing, and you waited, and you eventually get tired, and that's where your emotional state of mind becomes more demanding. So you have to first remember that you cannot do that, because the man is a man. You cannot assume the man will know. So the first thing, that first thought, first assumption has to be removed, so that you don't get into the state of mind where you already reach the level of frustration which leads to a demand. Now, always bear in mind, when you demand, the man feels that he's being attacked. Okay? And the man will feel also that you are unhappy with him, triggering his sense of lack of competency, which he will become defensive. So leading to conflict. Okay? Can I understand? Okay, Matthew.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, so we move on to the third tips over here. The third tips over here is to be brief. Very simple. So just keep it simple whenever you wanted to approach a man for support, because if you remember from again previous chapter, men, they are whenever they heard things, they heard the words, they are more towards how does it called the just the statement. They does this the sentences. It doesn't actually applies any no, sorry. They when they heard the words or the statements, they just understand the statements and the words that was being told to them. Okay, so whenever you approach a man, just try to be brief, to say whatever you wanted to say, not to be not to over explain unless they ask for further information, and ask in a sense to assume that he actually knows and doesn't need it to convince because if you remember just now also, whenever a man was approached by a woman, they would feel that the woman would be entitled towards the aids and the helps, and so uh, just try to keep it brief Just try to keep it short, to let the man know what you actually wanted. All right. Okay. All right. Sir, you want to add on anything, or I move on already?
Nothing. Move on.
Nothing. Okay. So again, the fourth point, same thing. Be direct. Okay. Like just now, be brief. Very simple already. Right now, simple, and then straight to the point. What you actually wanted. Straight to the right spot. Sometimes if you remember just now, women they are tend to be into more emotional connections, and so sometimes the expressions, they might get a little bit they might get a bit expressive, and during the expressive, the woman might also incur some indirect requests. Okay, some indirect requests during the expression. But however, the man, if you remember just now, is more into capturing the statement, into capturing the words by words and understand just the words. They could not, especially when they are heavy loaded, they can't actually decode. They can't decode the meaning. They can't decode the message behind the indirect request the female is trying to express. Okay, so tips for the woman over here: whenever you wanted to ask for the support, just straight to the point. Just be simple, very simple, and then straight to the point on what you want. Okay, even though it was against about your against on your natural tendency, but it was effective. It was effective towards the male as well. Okay, so if I have put up an examples over here. So if you can see the first one, the support the woman might ask is, would you help me to empty the trash? Oh, very brief and very brief and very direct, very simple. Would you help me to empty the tap and empty the trash? Okay, you can see there was a request. Okay, you can there was a request, it was a question. But sometimes, if you remember just now, I shared something about indirect request, right? Well, indirect request may sound like this: the trash can is so full, okay, and it can't fill in anymore. Why is there no one cleaning it? Okay, so if you decode the message hidden behind this expression, you can basically see there was a request behind the message. There was a request behind these messages. So, but however, sometimes the man doesn't doesn't have. I mean, that they could not identify it. They could not identify it. So, more worse scenario, they will treat this statement as an attack towards their self competency, and through that they might become very annoyed, they might feel challenged, they will also become very defensive, and eventually bringing the situation to more worse lah. So whenever, if you remember, whenever you wanted to ask for the support, just be brief and very direct on what you want. Okay. All right, so the last one over here, the fifth tips over here from the book is to use the correct wordings. Wordings over here sometimes would very much also makes an impact whenever you ask for the support over here. The book, because this English, right, in the Western countries, so for us Chinese, or if you are English educated, maybe I have included the Chinese words over here for you. So maybe you can also learn to acknowledge, you can also learn to apply whenever you ask for the support. So okay, so basically the correct wording over here to ask for support is you need to differentiate between the can, the can could. In Chinese we say 可不可以,可唔可以,可唔可以同埋能不能 versus would, will. In Chinese we say 願不願意, or in 廣東話係你願意唔願意冇. Alright, so because if you see between these two wordings over here lah, even though the meaning may be a little bit same, may be a little bit how to say, very near, but somehow the interpretation from the man between this can, could, and the would, will may sound very different. Okay, how do I say it? Ayo, wait, hold on. Okay, so if you can see, the can, could, whenever a man, we are talking about possibilities over here, like can, could, a man would feel that you are actually demanding through the can and could, because can and could, it was all about yes and no. It doesn't actually gives the man to say, to have a stand lah on what his point or whatever. It's either can or cannot. I can't choose or I'm forced to choose. So the can and the could, that 可不可以 would actually makes the man feel that, oh, you might be demanding. Okay, makes the man feel you might be demanding. But however, if you use would or will, 愿不愿意, it's like, okay, I am yeah, you can see the differences over here. 愿不愿意, it's like I am asking you, okay, but also I am giving you a freedom, and I am respect your opinions, and I respect your ideas. Okay, so would you and will you somehow, yeah, somehow for some male, well, it would work for them, no? Because they would think about, oh, the urge would just be a request and asking, not a demand. So they would during by using this correct wording would help out. How does it would help out in asking for the support more effectively lah. So yeah, the core ideas behind these two things, the demanding and the use of the words can could, is you are including your frustration, your perception that I am that the male is not giving enough, and basically the female are asking for more lor. But for the wood will is like it's just asking. There is no attachment of emotion. There is no attachment of nothing other things. Just the word, just asking for the help lor. Okay, so very good. Another good examples over here from the book. Maybe I can share for to help you guys understand better. Is the author actually use the sorry pardon, to use the examples like during when you ask the others for the hand, basically 考番 lah, 求婚 you ask the other party for the hand. Okay, but you could see usually during that time, right, you are using the word, would you marry me? Okay, do you see anyone say before, can you marry me? Could you marry me? Well, yeah, we don't hear it that often, right? Could you, can you is like you yes and no. That's it. Okay, but would you marry me is like I am asking for your opinion. I'm hoping you say yes, but also I am respecting your decision. I'm respecting your opinion. I'm respecting your decision. Okay, I will give you a free will to choose lah. But I'm hoping you to say yes, lor, like that, lor. So that was a illustration lah to help you guys understand better about the can, could, and the would will. It's like 愿不愿意还是能不能 Okay, all right. Hold on. Okay. So you want to add on anything before the last?
Yeah, basically could and can in English it sounds more demanding. Could and can. Would and will is more of a request. That's why when you say can you, it comes across more demanding. Very important in this case, if you want to use can you, please add the word please. Can you please? Then it reduces the demand. Okay, the word please can be added to can you. Could you please? Sounds a lot less demanding than could you do this, or could you please do this? You see, the word please reduces the sense of demand. But if you don't want, think about it. Would you do this? Already it has a low demand connotation there. That's why would you, if you want to even be a better request, then would you please? Right? Yeah. So to reduce the sense of demand in the question, always add the please, especially in a lot of close relationship. A lot of close relationship, we remove the please. Actually, it's not a very good habit to practice. Learn to practice please and not take for granted the thank you and the please in any relationship, doesn't matter how close. So my advice is in all, especially even more so in closer relationship, right? Make it a point to continue using please and thank you. Okay, Matthew?
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. So one last one. Okay, so somehow whenever okay, for the woman, you done your asking, you done your requesting already, or you sometimes you feel that, oh, I asked for the support from the other party, or I asked that, but somehow there might be weird response from the man, but and it somehow confused me. All right, so the man would reply in such way. You can see over here, don't nag me. Don't nag me. Don't ask me to do things all the time. Stop telling me what to do. I already know what to do. Blah. You don't have to tell me that. Okay, so so all these sentence over here from the book, they actually state that it actually means one thing. So there was a decoding behind this statement right now. If you understand the feelings behind all this sentence, it's basically about the man is responding in a way. I don't like the way you're asking. Okay, I don't like the way you're asking. So if you understand all if you understand this message already, if you understand the hidden message already, and you try and switch, just go around the way and use the better wordings, and perhaps you might get a better response from the man. So don't get freaked out by all these statements over here, because sometimes uh, woman is more sensitive. So whenever this kind of statement hits, eventually it will lead to something bad lah. Something bad would happen, break arguments, fight, whatsoever. But the book actually states something like this. You don't have to overreact. You don't have to overreact. All these things over here is basically means that, well, I don't like the way you're asking. Okay. All right. Yvonne said something over here. I'll just read out very quickly. Okay. In counseling, we are taught that certain words might make someone more anxious. Okay. One of the example is the word why. When someone telling you about their personal feeling, ask them straight why, or would you will leave them on defense. This can apply to normal setting as well, which is why word choices is very important. Yep. All right. Okay. Hold on. All right. That's all from this point. Sir, you want to add on anything?
What we want to say is very true lah. Is to recognize this. That's why the why must be used only in an environment that is already strong, in a relationship that is already strong. In a relationship that is not strong, a why is very intimidating. It's challenging the person's inner core. Nobody want to have their inside, the inner core being challenged, because it stirs up insecurity. What you want to say is correct. Okay, that's why I keep saying just now. I keep saying before, don't wait for the relationship to become to reach a point of conflict. That's why you have to prevent. You have to prevent the relationship, the positivity in the relationship to be high, to maintain a high, a good connection. You don't want it to drop, because once you drop, then you have to be extremely careful. A lot of the words need to be you need to watch out for a lot of words that being said, because you cannot be so direct anymore. Okay, you cannot be so careless with the words anymore, because it attached with it certain connotation. Which is why, by understanding the opposite gender and how they work, and how you can prevent the opposite gender to build that sense of insecurity, prevent that from happening, then you don't have to be so on guard with what you say. Okay, yeah. So yeah. But of course, learning all this counseling technique is also helpful lah. Okay, there are reasons for it lah. There are very good reasons for it. Because why is question about inner core? Why is a very intimidating question. That's why usually you don't ask why in a conflict. Once you ask why in a conflict, it feels like an attack. That means I'm attacking your inner sense of who you are, your inner sense of identity, your inner sense. So no. Nobody wants to be attacked inside. So it will create a defense. But in a strong relationship, why is very good? Because then it's talking about building and changing from inside out. Okay, Matthew, any other comment? Okay.
Okay.
Matt?
All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. So we'll still got some time. We'll try to finish the point. We'll see how was it, and I'll choose a place to stop for tonight, lah. Okay. So just now we venture into the first way, asking correctly for what you are really getting. So basically, it's like acknowledging about the small effort, the little things the male has been putting in, and to remind them about what the little things they have been doing matters for the female. And right now, you do that already, and then you came to a sense right now in the second point already. The second point over here is you are moving out already. Okay, you are moving out instead of reminding about small things, asking the same things. Right now, you try to step out one step. Okay, you try to step out one step into practice asking for more. Okay, but because during this second step, practice asking for more, even when you know he will say no. Okay, so before attempting to ask a man for more, make sure he feels appreciated for what he's already giving. By continuing to ask for his support without expecting him to do more than he has been doing, he will feel not only appreciated but also accepted. He feel he doesn't have to change to get your love. Okay, also remember that this change means that he feels that he is incompetent, not competent, sorry, incompetent, even incompetent, hence tackle his self-esteem. Let him realize that he can say no and still receive your love. So basically over here in the second step, you are you are moving out. You are moving out from the first step already. You are moving out from the first step, but before you reaching in this stage, you are venturing into a stage where you are letting him he already know that, okay, he get used to your asking. Okay, he feel that he is appreciated already, he is accepted already, and then he doesn't have to change to actually get your love, and he feel that he feel that he was confident in whatever that he was already giving, and then slowly right now you are expanding, you are expanding for more. But of course, whenever you expand, there would be there would be times he would say no because his focus was still on the big things. All right, he was still on the big things, and it was a new things for him, new things for the male that he actually haven't actually get try yet. So during this step, the more the I think the main point over here is not just about asking for more, okay, but also also asking for more, but also in a sense that I have both over here. Let him realize that he can say no and still receive your love. So basically, asking for more is the it's like a first step. But the main point over here is that you let him realize that, okay, he can actually say no. he can actually have his opinion and within this request from the other parties. So because whenever a male feel that he can say no, the no was being appreciated already. It means that the no, it means that actually he himself was also being appreciated and accepted by the female. Okay, so the main point over here is firstly is trying to step out from the first one, trying to ask for more. But the more main point is to help to let the males know that okay, it's okay to say no. Okay, it's okay to say no. So the book actually quoted some things over here. Men are much more willing to say yes if they have the freedom to say no. Um, if you remember just now, how the could would the wordings and how the request and the demands topics over here we have shared just now. So all these sum up towards this point over here. Men are much more willing to say yes if they have the freedom to say no. So basically means that because they right now they know the no the takna the one the no from the men uh, was being was being accepted, was being appreciated by the female, and so by their by their drive and by their tendency, because saying no means that it's like giving up an opportunity to solve the problem, to solve a problem and to boost their confidences already, right? So through this no, they know that okay, they are accepted in the eyes of the female. They are accepted, they are appreciated in the eyes of the female. So next time when he was approached by a request or by a request again, he will be much more willing to say yes. Okay, you can see the connection over there because firstly, have to appreciate the male learns that okay, the no can be accepted. So next time he is much more willing to say yes because he know that the no is the no by the male was being accepted. So when you ask, so for the just that was the main point for this step two. So a few more things the women can do over here lah. When you ask a sense that you will get rejection, prepare yourself for the no, and just have a ready answer like okay. Remember, each time you ask a man for support and he isn't make wrong for saying no. There should be no wrong in saying the no. When you ask a man for support and you do not reject him for saying no, he will remember that. And next time he will be much more willing to give and to say yes. Okay, so the idea over here for the second step over here, right, is basically this to try to accumulate and try to build up a more healthy relationship. Well, so the book actually defined a healthy relationship is when both partners have the permission to ask for what they want and need, and they both have the permission to say no of their own choices. So basically, they basically sum up that this they don't feel bad about saying no. Uh, Same thing again, like accepting the no by both parties. The no is just a no. Okay, it doesn't mean uh, extra things or it doesn't mean something that was hurting. A no, just a no. So important points over here to acknowledge like all these seven steps. All right. Okay. Sir, you want to add on?
Ladies, very important to make sure, very important that you are able to get the man to feel not being pressured to have to say yes to your request. Very important. Once you are able to give the man the sense of freedom to say no, actually the man will work very hard to do something to respond to your request. Okay, but if the man feel pressure to say yes, then the man will not work hard to respond to your request. This is very important trick that you must remember, woman. Okay, next time if you want your boyfriend or husband to do things for you, right? Build the trust, build the how to say the feeling in the men that they feel okay to say no. Okay, this is very, very important. Actually, most men will try their level best to respond to your request as long as they don't feel the demand. Okay? Because it's in their nature. The nature is they want to satisfy the woman's request. Woman's request, not woman's demand. Woman's demand is an attack on their sense of identity. Woman's request, a response to woman's request, builds the identity. A woman's demand attacks their sense of identity. This is very important for you to recognize. Okay, Matt.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, so there was the second step. All right. Okay, so I still have 2 more points over here. I will try to finish it by tonight because right now it's already 10, right? Is it okay, everyone? We try to proceed the class to 10:30. Oh,
how many slides do you have? How many slides?
How many slides? Hold on.
How many slides do you have, Matthew?
Yeah, hold on. I'm checking right now. 9 more slides. I still have 9 more.
How many more slides do you have for the next point until the end?
For the next points, 9 more. 9 more slides over here. Is my connection any problems over here? Hello? Am I still on the line?
Okay, 9 more slides next week.
Next week lah. Okay.
9 more slides next week.
Okay, hold on. So that's
Too
all.
many.
Okay. Oh.
9 more slides. Even if you were to spend 4-5 minutes per slide, it would take you about 40-50 minutes.
Okay.
So next week lah, never mind. No need to worry.
Can.
Yeah, next week.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's all for tonight. All right. Thank you, everyone. Fine. Okay. Anyone's or sir, you have any more inputs or for today's sessions? Anything else? All right.
Next week. Because anyway, it's raining. It's raining and the reception is going to be bad. And anyway, 9 is quite a lot. So next week, continue.
Okay, Ho. So that's it lah. I call it a night for tonight lah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you and good night. Thank you.